Hello everyone, this is Manvi and this video is the continuation of chapter 2 class 11 history. I'm really very sorry for the delay for this video. I read all of your comments and I'm very thankful for all your comments, so thank you very much. So in this video we'll be covering 4 topics, that is the development of writing, an important question, the 3 important cities and the legacy of Mesopotamian civilization. So let's start with our first topic, that is the development of writing. So in this, first we should know that what are the reasons and the uses what were the reasons for the development of writing and what were its uses. First of all, as we studied in the earlier video, we understood that in a society there is division of labor, due to which a social organization is set up which maintains written records. So for keeping records of transactions, that is the transactions which take place at the time of trade, it was important to maintain records. Second point is for making dictionaries. At that time dictionaries were made, so for making dictionaries. Third, giving legal validity to land transfers. Fourth, narrating the deeds of the kings. Fifth, announcing the changes a king had made in the customary laws of the land. So these were the 5 points for the reasons or uses of writing. Now the last thing which I would like to mention is that, let me change it like this. Last point I would like to say is that the writing was in the form of picture-like signs and numbers. So this was the topic I covered under the development of writing. Let's come to the next topic, that is urbanization in southern Mesopotamia, temples and kings. In this topic there is an important question, that is, why were the temples built similar to the houses? So the question is, at that time the temples were built similar to the houses. So what is the reason behind it? First point is, temples were the residences of various gods. For example, the moon god of Ur. At that time, temples were made similar to that of the houses because temples are considered as the residences of various gods. And the second point is, the ordinary house for the temple was the house of the god. Alright, so the ordinary house were built similar to the temple because they were considered because the temple were the house of the god. And the third point is, the god was the focus of the worship at that time, and people brought grain, curd and fish, and god was considered as the owner of the agricultural fields and the fisheries. So this is an important question, that why were the temples built similar to that of the houses. तो इसका रीज़न आपको अच्छे से समझ आ गया, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे ये माना जाता था कि जो हमारे हाउसेज हैं, हमारे जो टेम्पल्स हैं, वहाँ पे भगवान रहते हैं, और हाउसेज वो टेम्पल्स वो कंसिडर्ड एज द रेजिडेंस ऑफ गॉड. दैट्स वाई उनको हम हाउसेस को टेम्पल्स की तरह बनाते थे, क्योंकि टेम्पल्स भगवान के घर की तरह, मतलब घर होते थे. आई थिंक इट्स क्लियर. नाउ द third topic is, we'll be covering 3 cities. In your book 3 cities have been given. The first is Ur, the first one is Uruk. Here the first one is Uruk, second is Ur, and the third is Madi. So we'll be covering these 3 important cities. So let us come to the first one. In the Uruk city, we'll be talking about the temple towns. Mainly in Uruk there were temple towns. The entire city had a defensive wall. It expanded from 250 hectares to 400 hectares by 2800 BCE. Third, in the town, local people built the temples. Local people were involved in the construction of the temples. Those who were involved in the construction were paid rations from the ration shops. Now the next point is, on the command of the king, the ordinary people were asked to make the bricks making and baking of clay cones, which were used to make the temples. Now there were many technical advances seen at the time. For example, the potter's wheel, which was the technological landmark. So these are the points for Uruk, which mainly contained temple towns. Now the second one is Ur. In this topic, we'll be talking about the family system in Ur. At that time, there was a nuclear family. Second point, under the family system, there was a marriage procedure in which declaration for the willingness of marriage was declared, at which the family members of both the family members used to meet. For example, the family members of the bride and the groom, they used to meet, and there was exchange of gifts and offerings in temples. Now the fourth point is, there was absence of town planning. How can we know that there was absence of town planning in Ur? By 2 points. There were no street drains and there were narrow streets. Through this we can know that there was absence of town planning in Ur. Now there were many superstitions, matlab andhvishwas. There were many superstitions about the houses in Ur. First, raised threshold brought wealth. Second, front door that did not open towards another house was considered lucky. So these were the two superstitions at that time. Now the next point is, light did not come from windows, which ensured privacy. तो उस टाइम पे क्या होता था कि वहाँ पे विंडोज से लाइट नहीं आती थी, तो इससे क्या होता था कि इट इंश्योर गेटवेज से लाइट आती थी, विच इंश्योर्ड प्राइवेसी ऑफ द मेंबर्स ऑफ द हाउस. Now the last point is town cemetery. Now in this paragraph it is talking about town cemetery. In this, that the graves of royalty and commoners have been found. जो रॉयल लोग होते थे और जो कॉमन पीपल होते थे उनकी ग्रेव्स पाई गई हैं. जो रॉयल लोग होती थी उनकी स्पेशल ग्रेव्स पाई गई हैं, लेकिन जो ऑर्डिनरी लोग होते थे उनकी उन्हीं के हाउस में ग्रेव्स पाई गई थी. Now the third and the last one is Mari. Mari was a pastoral town. Two kinds of economic activities used to take place here. First, agriculture and animal herding. Therefore, there was the presence of farmers and pastoralists. Okay, so first of all, the land was highly productive. There was highly productive agriculture. The herders exchanged their young animals with food and grains from the farmers. So there was exchange of fruit, grains and animals. But at times there was conflict between farmers and the herders. Why there was the conflict? Because the herders used to bring their flocks to the fields of the farmer, because the herders used to bring their flock to the fields of the farmers, which used to ruin the crop. And secondly, they used to raid the fields, because the herders moved from one place to another, so they used to raid the fields, and which led to the conflict between both of them. So because of this conflict, the king needed to be very watchful and vigilant. And the one important point is, Mari is a good example of urban center on prospering on trade. So trade was very important here. Now the last topic which we are going to cover is legacy of Mesopotamian civilization. So this topic is covered over here, legacy of Mesopotamian civilization. So it has got 4 points. Alright, so the first point is mathematics. Multiplication, division, squares and square roots have been given by the Mesopotamian civilization. Second is time reckoning. Times divisions, for example, 12 months into 4 weeks, a year into 12 months, 1 month into 4 weeks, 1 day into 24 hours, 1 hour into 60 minutes. This time division have been given by the Mesopotamian civilization. The fourth point is solar and lunar eclipses were observed. Observing the position of stars and constellations in the night sky. So this contribution has also been given by the Mesopotamian civilization, that at that time they used to observe the solar and lunar eclipses to give the time divisions. And the fourth is, we'll be writing about the development of writing, that they gave it in the form of signs of, like we studied over here, that it was picture like signs and numbers. Okay, so there was development of writing. So this makes the chapter, I think this makes the chapter clear. And all the best, and I think this explanation makes this chapter easier for you. So thank you very much for watching.